My name is Craig Watts, and I'm handling global communications at Cheung GSB. And here tonight we've just had an event. We called it Smart Startups. And for the event we had 4 entrepreneurs, all with different experiences, kind of talking about how you get started in China, what an entrepreneur is, and what the difficult aspects are for entrepreneurs in China here, and then a lot of networking. So it's turned into a little bit of a party here. The other aspect about tonight's event was it's really international. We had a group of about 25 students from the University of Chicago in the entrepreneurial program. They're studying for MBAs here. We also had about 25 students from what we call METP, which is a European Union program that's training managers here in China. And then combined with our alumni and also with business people here in Beijing, it became a very sort of diverse group and a lot to talk about, and I think quite productive.
Thank you very much. And again, it's my great pleasure to be here on behalf of the University of Chicago. And I want to thank all the folks here at the Beijing From Graduate School of Business for putting on this program. I think it's a very exciting opportunity for all of us to learn a bit more about entrepreneurship in general, and particularly about some of the interesting issues in trying to start up companies here in China. So welcome to all of you. I think we have a very exciting, very interesting program.
We followed a typical Silicon Valley financing model. I self-funded the company with a couple of business partners. We convinced a couple friends to put in a little bit of money as well. Then we raised a Series A from Mayfield in 2006. And then we subsequently raised a Series B from Lehman Brothers late last year.
What's the nature of the private equity venture capital market here in China that would allow you to do that? Or were you financed by people in Silicon Valley and California?
We get our deals out of Silicon Valley, but most of the top tier VCs these days, they have a China affiliate, or they maybe even have it's usually they either they follow a franchise model like Sequoia, where they use the Sequoia name or maybe the SoftBank name. However, it's actually their LPs are actually totally separate from the main funds out of the U.S. Or sometimes they kind of have a joint venture model where some of the U.S. partners are partners in the China fund, and they also provide capital. Or thirdly, it's actually a common fund, like Dell Capital uses that, Intel Capital uses that, where it's a common fund, and the employees or the partners in those funds make decisions in China, they make decisions in the U.S. So Mayfield's model is they have a China joint venture where they own a third of the Chinese VC, as well as co-investing along with that as well. So they're kind of double dipping in a way. And then Lehman Brothers, they have a global fund. They work with IBM a little bit here in China as kind of a deal sourcing partner.
What I want to do is make money first, and then we generate maybe funding more money to get more money from the venture capital or private equity to grow bigger. So now we're actually already making money. I try to break even at the end of this year or maybe the early next year, but as wish.
The government requires the minimum capital is 1 million RMB. Then it changed. So we have to change our strategy, and that is we provide the services to the end user to provide the services to the bigger corporations. Once we change our strategy, the capital is enough for us to survive because it's really no cost.
I just want to ask the travel portal. What's your comparative advantage over other players such as C-Trip? And you seem to suggest that the first mover advantage is very important in your industry. And do you think that notion holds true in other sectors? Thank you.
We think it is. And every time, and I'm also an angel investor in different projects. And one of the key criteria that I like to do is you have to be first. And every company I've invested in, and of the 4 companies I've started, every one of them was the first in this category. And I think that's super important. It's always great to say we're number one and we're the first. And that certainly helps when you're accessing capital, when you're trying to pursue business development partnerships, and when you're trying to hire key employees. Having said that, clearly there are companies that were second or third and actually were able to dominate the market. So clearly the first player doesn't always win in China. However, in a brutally competitive market such as China, I mean, I certainly think that being first is just one of the few advantages that you really, really need.
The internal challenge is also people, because they had been the workers had been the owner of the company when it was state-run, right? That's the China. That is the China. So when I bought the company, they thought they were no longer the owners. So it's a big change. They were not willing to accept that. So that was a really struggle. But fortunately, we after a few years work, and now things are a lot better and pretty good now. The biggest external challenge is that for the past 1 or 2 years, the world market has been slowed down, especially U.S. and also the renminbi appreciation, because we have been earning U.S. dollar, and now the dollar is not worth so much money right now, but we have to. Our cost is in renminbi now. Our income is U.S. dollar, so we lost a lot of profits.
It's a great panel and a great partner. It's a very good opportunity to meet all the entrepreneurs from all over the world. This is a good opportunity for Cheung to be really international. Because China has been growing so fast, now people from other countries, from all over the world, they are very curious